Hey everyone, today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to take these three red orange hopper cars and we're going to turn them into Santa Fe cars. So follow along while we do that, it's going to be pretty cool.
The paint I'm using is True Color Santa Fe Brown airbrush paint. Before I painted the exterior of the cars, I painted the hopper base silver and then airbrushed flat black paint over parts of it to show the wear of many coal loads being dumped into the hopper. Part of the weathering process will be to show rust around the rivets where paint has been worn away. I'm using a Posh VL airbrush.
Okay, we put one coat of paint on each one of these cars, but as you can see there's still some issues with the paint. So I'm going to paint it again, put one more coat on. This one looks pretty good. This one still has some red showing from the original car. So we've cleaned out the airbrush and we're going to go ahead and put a second coat, at least a second coat on here. Turn the airbrush on. Put in a little paint. It's spraying a lot better now. Doesn't sound like it, but it actually is. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use this matte finish, clear matte finish. So we'll just take off some of the shine and also put on some protection. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to put the decals on one of these cars. This is a decal set that I use. It's from Microscale Decals, and it's specific to the Santa Fe hopper cars. And they also include a photograph, which you can use as a template for these particular cars. So that's what we're going to be using. That, and that's pretty good. These decals are a little harder to use because sometimes each one of these letters on here is a separate decal, so makes it just a little bit harder to position them. I usually start with the Santa Fe just because it's kind of the most interesting. So, it's got the Santa Fe, two of them, one for each side. Cut it down the middle. And then what I'm going to do is cut them in half. So I'll do S-A-N-T and then A-F-E. Do S-A-N-T first. And just put it in the water to soak for a couple minutes. We have this microset solution which I'm going to apply to the side of the car using a Q-tip. That will help the decal adhere to the paint. And I'll also use this Q-tip to apply the decal to the car. So I just kind of put it approximately where I want it, and then I'll center it after I get all of them on. So I'm just kind of putting them in the approximate spot that I want. And then as soon as we get the other three letters on, we will be a little bit more careful about centering it. Then I will adjust each one of these to make sure it's straight and level. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Okay, so we have the decals on the cars now, so the next thing I'm going to do is to spray it with a clear matte finish. That will seal the decals in place and they won't rub off. And then after that, it will be time to weather it. So we have our matte finish, clear, protective finish. And we're just going to spray a light coat on this. And we'll let that dry, and then we will start the weathering process. Okay, so we have the decals on. We put on a coat of matte finish just to make sure the decals are stable, and now we're going to start weathering it. First thing I'm going to do is put this spine back on the car. Got the weights. Okay, so we'll put the weights in each side. Put the spine in. These just kind of fit underneath here like this. Just push them into place. We'll put the wheels back on. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to weather this stuff too. Alright, I also put KD couplers on the wheels. So, the weathering begins. This is a really cool pastel set for different weathering colors, but it's specifically for weathering, and I really like it. So what I'm going to do is just put on some of these colors kind of randomly. Make this car kind of dirty looking. You can see it already looks better. I like a little bit of white kind of underneath these letters here. Kind of fade them away. Make them look like they're running a little bit. Keep in mind, none of this stuff has to be perfect, none of it has to be even. The more random it appears, the better. Catch the underside of this. Catch the ends of it, make it look a little dirty. You want to try to keep your fingerprints off of stuff though, because fingerprints look like fingerprints. Yeah, let's do brown here. Having things uneven will make it look more realistic. A little stuff on the wheels. I'm not weathering these cars real heavily. Just kind of enough to make the appearance of age. This looks pretty good. I'm also going to weather the inside of it, but I think what I'm going to do first is to go ahead and seal coat this again. That way I won't get fingerprints all over the place. And then I'm going to do another layer of it, but I'm also going to catch the inside of it at that time.
After spraying the car with matte finish, I applied more pastels to the outside and inside of the car and then sprayed it once again. The final touch was to use some rust-colored paint along the rivet seams and along the top of the car. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button and feel free to leave a comment. While Yard Limit is mainly about documenting real trains, I may include videos of the evolution of my layout. Thanks for watching and please subscribe to the channel.